This is what we need to do today. Are y'all following Ernesto? He is probably one of my favorite artists. He's so incredible and he does the most, the looks that he does. Please go follow him. Okay, so the reason we're starting with a much darker warm tone base is because this is gonna act as your first transition. It's gonna cut out a few steps. Anytime you do a smoky eye, your best bet is to do a very warm crease. It's just a lot more flattering with the depth that we're gonna be using. So I went ahead and grabbed this one. This one's also from Drawer Cosmetics. I'll tag the name. And we're gonna take that from the lid almost all the way to the brow bone. And if there was ever a look that said, trust the process, it's gonna be this smoky eye. And really quickly, while it's on my mind, it's important to me because I grew up being obsessed with not the celebrity, but the celebrity's makeup artist. And recently I've been seeing a lot of my friends here recreate all of the beautiful looks, and they'll just tag the celebrity. They're not tagging the artist. So if you see this, please don't think I'm being disrespectful or mean, but these artists are, that's their job, that's their talent. And when we have large platforms and we tag just the celebrity's already known. So if you are recreating celebrity looks, please tag the artist. So now I'm gonna take my foundation and I'm just gonna finish off the top part here, just kind of marry all of this together. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And I wanted to use my actual foundation. We can come back and brighten it later with eyeshadow, but let's just get this finished. Okay, so this, I know you're gonna be like, why don't you see black eyeshadow? We are gonna use black eyeshadow. But a lot of times to get a lot of dimension in those types or these types of looks that we're recreating, start with an eye pencil. We're gonna grab this one from Mario and we're just going to kind of map this situation out. And now remember, it is going to be blended out, but this first step, I promise you, it even gives you a really nice guideline. So I went ahead and brought it all the way out and connected it to the lash line. I know that y'all are gonna stick with me because y'all know you gotta trust the process. All right, so how cute is this? This is from the crayon case. Look at this. It says notepad. It's backwards here, obviously front face camera. This is the black edition notepad, and this is so cute. So we have a really nice black and the warm tones, this color that we're gonna need. I'm gonna grab this shade, and this is gonna be a major tip. Are you ready? So many moons ago, even when I started doing makeup, everything that I ever saw on any YouTube video or even in books, I used to read a lot of books on makeup, everything was done with a super fluffy brush, especially a smoky eye like this. Well, what happens when you pick up black eyeshadow with a brush this big? Chaos. That's what happens. So what I want you to do is I want you to find the tiniest brush you have. I know, it's just absolutely out of control. And I want you to work in small sections. Now, what might happen is you might feel, God, that's gonna take forever. Yes, but you know what else takes forever? Wiping everything off and putting it all back on again. So this brush obviously is pretty spicy, but I'm sure most of us have a tiny brush. I will say this one is special. I mean, I'm really special, it is. But grab the tiniest brush that you have in your collection when you start to even do a smoky eye. I am gonna go ahead and link it. This is actually one of the top sellers in the collection, and for good reason. It's little, but it's spicy. But here's the link, just in case. All right, just take your time. Just gonna keep building this up. I'm using the side of my brush. Just tapping that all the way over. So before we can start using the finishing brush, we really have to get all of this dimension in here. And start to tap it out this way. All right, do you have a palette and it has red eyeshadow in it and you think there's no way in the world I would ever use that red eyeshadow? I'm gonna show you when to use that red eyeshadow. So that look on Doja Cat, it's very warm brown. And while the browns I was using are really nice and warm, I want to elevate it and I want to add more dimension. And you hear me say dimension a lot, but eyeshadow looks, the way that I view them, can look very flat with just a few colors. And when I'm doing these very wild looks, I really like to see different layers. Think of them as layers. An onion. Oh God, now I'm referencing onions. I actually found a different palette. This one has a truer red, and that's what we want. So do you see this true red here? Love this palette, by the way. It's only $12, it's so affordable. I'm actually gonna grab a fluffy brush now, and I'm only gonna grab that much. See that on the brush? You kind of don't want to see it. In fact, I picked up too much right there. Okay, there we go. So now I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna start by tapping right in the center. And then from here, I'm going to tap it all over the brown. And do you see how much more red that brings? We want to start small, but it makes such a difference. It kind of transforms that brown. And a lot of times, a lot of these colors can do that. The yellow could do it, the orange, these more terrifying colors that we don't normally reach for. All right, now we're getting to the part where we're gonna start to add the dimension. And I'm gonna try to shade my eye. Me and Doja Cat, we have completely different eye shape, but I wanna shade my eye similar to hers. So we're gonna grab the black from the palette that we started with, and I'm just gonna start to press it in here. Again, with the tiny brush, please do yourself a favor and use the tiniest brush that you have. Even though this is going to end up being a very diffused look, you're just gonna have more control with the tiny brushes. That's a really nice black eyeshadow. We'll blend it out later, but right now we're doing our shading part. Because, let me show you. You'll see that she's turned to the side, and obviously we are gonna blend it a little bit more, but it's very deep in here on Doja, and she has a little bit more rounded eye than I do, and that's kind of what we're trying to create. But we are gonna blend it more. But we have to go a little extra special, and I'm also really going out of the natural fold. See how you can see it? We're creating an illusion. We're also gonna shade out this way as well. You know what, I might actually just kind of clean up my brow here and kind of make it more straight like Doja's. We'll see. Or I could just do a really tight ponytail, which I might do. We'll do that. All right, so I really want to recreate her eye shape here. So I have micellar water, and what I'm gonna do, you can see that it's shaded again from here to here, but I really want to create her eye shape. So some micellar water on a C30, and just thin out through here. Now, you wouldn't have to do this, but I really like to challenge myself with these. So I get a little out of hand, even trying to change my eye shape. So it is going to be more diffused, but we needed to clean up that black or it was just going to muddy up everything. So I'm gonna take the same eyeshadow base that we started with, bring it all the way across here. Don't worry about it going into the black here. It kind of just all melts together later. Okay, so I grabbed these two shades together and we tapped them through here. And I just kept layering them. But then I grabbed the red to kind of bring it back. And then we grab a little bit of the black just to deepen. Definitely want to leave this little space here blank because that's where the gold is going to go. But in the meantime, let's just kind of keep tapping this. Tap, 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 tap. So I'm going to switch palettes because this color and this color I know mixed, I went back into that one more time, is going to be almost identical to her lid color. So we'll layer it on that way first. And then I wanted to pull a little bit more apricot, so I'm gonna grab this color again. Bring it over this way and then tap it over this way. And then we can start on the face, and then that's when we can start to finish the eye. Because believe it or not, the eye isn't really anywhere near finished. There's still a few more tweaks that kind of bring it all together. So now we're gonna take that Mario pencil that we used and just run this across the lash line. And I'm actually not gonna clean this up. You're gonna see why, I swear. It's all gonna make sense. Lord, please, please don't leave me. Please don't. Also, go ahead and take this on the bottom and top lash line. This is actually one of my favorite pencil liners, especially black pencil liners. I had just misplaced it. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Look how brown my eyes look. Now remember, we still have a lot of cleanup and detail work to do, but we can't do anything else till we get our foundation on. This was priority. Good Lord, Jean, you don't even sound real. You sound like special effects we could use in the movies. Oh, he's a very sweet boy. Very big boy. Do y'all remember, some of you might remember, how rough he used to look when he first came? Now look at him. This beautiful man. Beautiful man. I've got to hold him now. I'll be back in a second. Okay, we have our Ardell 576. You'll know these are my favorite. And these actually look like very similar to what she has on. So before we move on to complexion, I have to show you this adorable travel size Pinnacle foundation from Anissa Beauty. Look how little it is. It's so cute. I'm about to use it right now. We have to use this. This is just, I'm excited. So we're trying out the new Hourglass foundation, and Hourglass runs warm, but we have to wait for it to dry down, and I'm just going to put it on my cheek in case we need to wipe it off. And we'll see if it'll go to my color. It does seem like it's kind of going a little bit more neutral. A little bit goes a long way. Yeah, see? And let's see what happens once it dries. Cute little Pinnacle foundation brush. It feels amazing. Okay, so this is a very important part, almost as important as the actual eyeshadow placement. We're gonna grab an E28 and we're gonna grab the tiniest amount of foundation. Tap it over here. And we're gonna start to take that through the center of the face. And you can see that this is already starting to take shape. See how this looks very defined? That's exactly how it looks on Doja. So the cleanup part is just as important. Tap it under here. Take a little underneath here. All right, so I wanted more full coverage today. We're gonna get a little bit more out of control. The concealer is a secret. It's not my secret, but it's a concealer that is not released yet, so I can't tell you what it is, but you can look at it and be ready for it, because I'm telling y'all, you're gonna love it. And also, I love that brands send me product way before it releases. That way, when it does release, I'll already know if I like it or not. Now, I don't love the tone of this foundation, so I'm gonna grab my cream bronzer, and hopefully this will help adjust it. Yeah, that already looks better compared to there. This is in the shade Laguna 3, and this brush is a prototype. I'm gonna bring it up pretty high on the jawline only because I don't like the color of the foundation. Let's set with our Givenchy powder. All of my prototype puffs are dirty and I miss it. All right, let's bring the black liner out of the waterline. So now we're gonna use the warm brown again. And I just have a little bit, this is an old prototype brush, but I just have a little bit, I don't know how it got in the mix, of that orange on the side. And then I'm just kind of tapping under here and transitioning under the wing as well. NARS blush in Savage. Kind of melt it into there as well. So we're gonna grab this from Pat McGrath, and I just applied it on the inner corner with an E26, so it'll fit in there really nicely. Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in Total Taupe while Jean snores. And then I'll just apply this Fenty gloss. It's gonna go on pretty sheer, and I feel like my lips already have that kind of orange tint that Doja's do. Okay, let me go put my hair in a ponytail so we'll have a straighter brow situation. So I feel like Doja's lid is more orange, so I'm just gonna grab an orange from that City Color palette Tap that on the lid. All finished. I'm going to take a picture in similar lighting. My lighting is always very bright. This seems to be a little bit darker lighting, so I'll take a picture and we will emulate it. I love this. I love you all so much. This was so fun to recreate. I kind of can't stop staring at my eyes and they look extra honey brown. Okay, I love you all. I'm gonna go take a picture and I'll save this to my highlights later, of course. Love you. See you in the comments tonight.